years, right? You cannot allow such a risk in projects that people intend to live in. You know, lives that are investing in our off plan, we are very, very intentional. So for us, you know, mixing on site, we don't mix on site manually. We get our concrete right from the batch plants so that will make our quality of the concrete, you know, to the standard level. So here is what we do instead for all our concretes. You know, every single batch is prepared according to structural specification and is subjected to cube strength tests at intervals of 7, 14, and 28 days, right? So these tests help us to verify that the concrete achieves the desired compressive strength, typically between 25 and 30 megapascals, depending on the load-bearing requirement of the structure. We're intentional about paying, you know, high attention to details, right? So more importantly, we keep a batch record of every structural pour, so there is full accountability. And we don't just pour concrete, we pour, you know, confidence backed by engineering precision. So we're not just constructing with guesswork, we're intentional about every test, making sure that every test is backed with innovative engineering qualities. Right? So, but quality is not just achieved by materials alone, it is also ensured by supervision. That is why we are key about bringing in, you know, high experts in the field, in the construction field. So, with that said, I want to, you know, introduce our next speaker for the next segment. He's a seasoned engineer in the industry. So if you're excited, drop in the chat section, you're excited, drop what you're learning. You can possibly drop your questions so that your questions will be attended to. So our second speaker for the second segment is Engineer Sonny Osoki. He's project director at MP Infrastructure Group. He brings over 31 years of professional experience in engineering and infrastructure development, a seasoned expert with an MSc from Newcastle and multiple professional affiliations, including MNSE, Koren, FNICE, amongst others. He has spent the last 16 years as a project board advisor at MP Infrastructure. His career includes serving as project rollout manager at Zain for 4 years and 12 years as project manager with Empan Group Consulting Engineers, delivering high-profile projects with precision and impact. So let's welcome Engineer Sonny as he takes us through the next segment of our session today. Engineer Sonny, thank you very much, sir, for joining us. The time is yours. IT, kindly make Engineer Sonny a panelist. Thank you. All right, Engineer Sonny, kindly, you know, unmute and, you know, take us through this ride. We're boiling to hear from you. Thank you very much, Engineer.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Yes, you're welcome, sir. We can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Okay, it's in the morning now, it's afternoon. I want to just appreciate you guys for the privilege and opportunity to be here with you to discuss on engineering trust. Am I audible, please?
Sir, yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, we'll discuss on engineering trust. in off-plan projects. I will start by saying it is very important that you have a trust in your developer as a client and as an off-taker on a project that you have only seen in paper, but in reality is not visible. So I'll be taking us through how we can guarantee structural integrity in our off-plan projects. And I will start by saying I want to appreciate the first speaker, architect Benjamin Ani, who spoke very extensively on the quality assurance and the quality to look out for the deliverables at the offline session. I equally want to appreciate the program moderator, Mr. Ekman Francis, for so far so good. You've done very well. So I want to start on engineering trust in the offline projects. What are the teams that are the people that are required to be trusted? The people that are required to be trusted, one is the developer. Unfortunately for us on this program, GTech is not just subletting the responsibility of the developer to a third party. GTech is actually doing the development directly, which makes it very, very interesting. And what are the structural elements that GTech is looking at? For starters, developers' reputation. So as off-takers, as buyers that are privileged to have bought into this project, especially the uh, the one in Lekki, Bejo Lekki, that is Jasper Gandana Estate. As an off-taker, you've taken a major risk, but be rest assured that the risk you have taken is in a good hands. Because for you to choose GTEx as the developer, I'm sure you've done your due diligence because that's the method of guaranteeing that your trust element is secured. You've done your due diligence of GTEx construction. You've looked at their past projects, showing that they've committed and they've delivered successfully. Then another trust element that we should look at is under the structural design quality. For the project that is currently being executed, you owe it your responsibility to demand as a guarantee to know the level of structural design quality of what you are buying into. And how do you do that? And when you are doing that, how do you confirm that you are doing the right thing? You should be able to ask questions about are the codes and compliant, are the codes governing building, are they being complied with? Is GTEx getting third party specialists to look at what they are doing? I think the answer is yes, because you have joined already in the opportunity. Because this must be why you were convinced to join. So looking at the next trust element is the construction quality. The construction quality. How do you guarantee that this method is carefully complied with? The construction quality, the architect Benjamin has spoken about all the processes they have been following to ensure that quality is met. So, and one of those things is that you are supposed to look at how the site is being supervised, what is the supervision that is being done, how are the materials that are used tested, are they using the right materials? You know that in Ibejuleki, the sand in Ibejuleki, if you are dredging from the sea directly, is salty. It is salty. So you can't use that kind of sand. So due diligence is taken to deploy the right quality of sand so that your steel will not be corroded while you build them in a sand material that is salty. Are the reinforcement used, are they meeting the right quality? Those are the questions you have to ask as an off-taker. But I can reassure you that GTEx is already doing that. They've done that. That's why they've gone as far as they've gone on the project development. Then Actor Benjamin spoke about at the preliminaries of the project. At the preliminaries of the project, they looked at did a geo they did a kind of a geotechnical survey of the site. The reason for this is to establish the bearing capacity of the environment at Jasper Gardenia Estate. If to know the kind of structure they are going to put there, are they going to use piling? Are they going to use raft foundation? Are they going to use part foundation? So that was done. The geotechnical test will help you in knowing that. It will also help you in your drainage construction to know the level of the water table. The level of the water table shows you how high is water under the ground. If water is very high, it means that before you go deep into the ground, you heat water. So this helps in determining the water table. Then they did a topological studies. That is trying to get a topo of the area, which shows the undulation of the sites. This undulation helps you to know the ground profile, how the ground is being laid, and this helps in draining the sites. The picture of this helps you to know how the water is going to drain on the sites and how you are going to do all the catchment of the surrounding drainages within all the buildings that are going to be built, how you are going to capture and discharge to the nearest river around the site. GTEx has already done this. I visited the site and I can tell you for free that it will not be flooded, though we are in an environment that is flood prone, but the site is a site that will drain itself effortlessly without any complication. Then another engineering trust that as an obstacle you have to look at is the independent oversight. Is there an independent oversight? What are those independent oversights? The guarantee methods is third party audits. Are they inviting third party audits? I'll give you an example. I visited the site. I am like a third party audit to give a brief on what has been done, the status, is it meeting the requirements, engineering requirements? Is it going to be safe? And this, I can tell you, we did that and it was assured so. Then for all the drainages that are designed, they need to go through approval of the Lagos State Town Planning Board. The reason for this is to ensure that the water moving out of the estate is drained properly into the drainage network of the Lagos State government. This is in progress, and I believe at the time of completion, it will fine. So you need to continuously ask for this. Inspections, you need to find out are they depending on just the internal engineers or they have other engineers that are coming to inspect. From time to time, the town planning people come to inspect. Do you have the right setback? Are you actually doing what you are supposed to do? Third parties, consultants for the project are coming in to see what you are doing, whether it is meeting the specification. It is important we do all this at the off-plan period to ensure that there are no mistakes. Because if there are mistakes, it becomes very, very expensive to repair. And if those mistakes comes up, who is going to bear the cost? Most times, most developers try to push it back on the off-takers, that is the subscribers. But GTEx will not do this because they are doing the right thing in terms of timely and prompt uh, check of all processes on the project. Another trust element that GTEx as the developer looked into, and you as a subscriber should ensure that they've done it properly, is the legal and financial assurance on the project. One, what are the things you are supposed to look at as the subscriber? Are there warranties? What are the liability clauses? Is there a bond? This will help you in knowing if the developer has enough fund to complete the project, to start and complete the project. And if the timeline that has been given for the project from off-plan to execution is 2 years, are they going to meet that time? That is under warranties. If they don't meet that time, are they going to compensate you for that? That is the liabilities. So if they meet or they supersede that time, what compensation or benefits will come to you or to all the stakeholders? This trust element under legal and financial assurance helps you in doing that. Is the land legitimate? Does it have the right C of O's? Does it have a global certification from the state government? That not that you recently we had we saw in the news of a number of estates that the Lagos state government said were illegal. They should come and in fact they gave the developers 21 days to come and do clarification. If you as a subscriber, you have done your you have looked at the trust element under legal and financial assurance, you capture this. I believe GTEX has done that. That's why the almost the whole place is sold out. And for those places that are not sold out, you need to tell your friends to hook in onto this project because the project has the right documentation, and you can. It's not just a word of mouth. It's something you have the right to demand for and do your due checks and balance. Then another trust element that the developer puts in place is transparency. Is the developer transparent? You as a subscriber, you need to know that. And how do you get your guarantees for that? How you get your guarantees for that is, do you get quarterly reviews? Do you attend meetings? They should be calling for meetings once in a while, especially when the off plan has become functional, they've started deployment, they started implementation. There should be review of meetings, and the time has to be chosen, whether it's going to be every 3 months or every month. Every month will be cumbersome because it's cumbersome. So there will be an agreement. Is there access to information? Are you getting the right updates? Are you getting updates as when due? Those are the guarantees that you have. Let's say you live abroad, you can always have your emails where these updates will be shared, or you get your representative in Nigeria to know when they'll be meeting physically to come and do your checks. Then, in terms of inspection, you can always call the site reps that you want to visit. I believe there's a forum for that where you visit the sites and see what is happening. This helps you in having trust and ensuring what you paid for, you are getting it. So having said this, which is just a preamble to engineering trust in an off-plan project, I will want to dive in into some of the models that during off-plan you have to put into place. You have to put into place, they call it building information modeling. That's BIM, BIM. It's a digital process used by construction companies, developers, architects, engineers to create and manage information about the building through the life cycle. That is from the beginning, the off plan to the end. GTEX has this. That is a program of work. You can call it a Gantt chart, but the BIM is more detailed, is digitalized. You can have access to this. This can be shared with you. So it's just like having a roadmap, which as a subscriber, you follow it. If they say anything, you go and check whether it's meeting the time. Let's say they said they are going to start the road network after 8 months. The beam will show that 8 months. If they didn't follow, it will lack of compliance to the beam document. That's the process. That's the life cycle of the project. So you will know this is a red flag. They are not meeting their timelines in terms of project deliverables. So the beam shows that. So and it is a process that helps you to plan from beginning to when you are constructing, when you are designing, when you are now operating and implementing until when you get to the handover period. So it's very, very vital, and it helps you to know the materials to buy per time, the approvals to get per time. Where when the systems are not working, let's say uh, uh, your team is not working optimally, it will show it. It will show that your team is not working optimally. You can't hide it. It will show it. It's just like a work schedule. To simplify it, it will show when your team is not working optimally. And if they are not working optimally, it means that they are not performing. It means there is a lack of performance. And the beauty of the BIM is that it's a centralized information database that shows everything to all the stakeholders. So I'm just saying that as one of the features that we use. Another feature that we use on the quality is the NDN, which is a non-destructive test. This is normally used to ensure that the structural integrity of structural elements are, are being complied with in terms of the specifications, the strength, the bearing capacity, and all of that. This non-destructive test is a device that is used to evaluate the materials, is used to evaluate the components of things that you are going to use without damaging it. You don't have to test your concrete, your beam, or your foundation by breaking it. The non-destructive test element equipment helps you to do this without damaging anything. It helps you to ensure that you don't have problems. It helps you to know if there is corrosion in the steel. I mentioned earlier on that if you use the wrong materials in terms of sand that is salty, what happens is that you start having corrosion because the salt elements will start attacking the steel that you have already casted. So this will show when you use this non-destructive element. This is a trust engineering process to ensure that developers are doing the right thing. And I can tell you for free, GTEx is doing that. It helps you to know if you have cracks and flaw. When you do some construction work, or let's say you start doing the columns, the beams, and you start doing some walls, all of a sudden, maybe 2, 3 months, 6 months, you start seeing crack lines. When you see those crack lines, as an investor, maybe on your VC day, you become scared. Is this house going to collapse? What's this cracks all about? You become very wary. This non-destructive test equipment, the NDI, will tell you if the crack is a structural crack or is a facial crack. Structural crack happens when there is foundation settlement. When there is a foundation settlement and it's a differential settlement, meaning that the settlement is happening at different places at different rate of settlement, automatically you'll be having cracks. If it's a non-differential, that everything is settling together at the same level, you can get away with that, but you will still see it. For an engineer that visits the site, you will start seeing that. That's why you see some houses, when they finish, then after a while, you see that it's like the house is growing shorter because it is going down, and you are not seeing any crack. It's because it is settling. The settlement is not differential, it's settling together. That is a recipe of a poor foundation and it's a disaster. That house is useless unless you want to start an engineering revival of the building which is very expensive. It's not something we should go into, divide, bringing things like underpinning and all of that. It's not something, an option you should be looking at. The NDI also helps you in knowing the materials properties. That's the hardness, the ductility, especially the reinforcement. You have different kind of material reinforcements now. Different. That's some materials when you put them under stress, still it will just snap because it's fake. It's fake. So this test will help you to know that. It helps you to know dimensional accuracy. If what you have in your drawing is what you're actually doing. There are houses, when you build them, you find out that the doorway, the lintel, sometimes is lower than the required standard, meaning that people can start walking and hitting their head on the doorpost. That's a design error, or that is an implementation error. All this you will know. You will know. So I want to go now into, I want to be more specific now, and I want to be very fast due to our time. My being more specific now is to look at the checklists and templates for an investor to manage risk in an offline building project. The checklist. This is going to be very, very important for the GTEx team. What I'm talking about now is very important for you, Benjamin, Appen Francis, and Mr. James. These are templates that you have to look at. I know you have a template. You have a template. Template most times are tailor made, and so it depends on if you are doing a skyscraper, your template will be different than if you are doing a bungalow or a story building. So I just want to run through an example of what the template is for you as an investor that is doing the work directly. You are not giving it to third party. There must be a proper project review. You must have a project name. The location must be properly identified. Then you have to note the dates of when you are starting, and you should have a date estimated for completion. It must not be open-ending. You must have a date of completion because there is time value for money. The more time you spend, the more money you spend on labor, the more money you spend on equipment. If you are leasing equipment, you spend money on leasing. If you are borrowing money to do the work, you are paying more money to the bank. So you must know the time. And the time is what will determine, adhering to the time is what will determine if you are going to be profitable. Then you need to know the value of investment that you are going to make. You can't start an off-take plan, you give it to subscriber. I'd give you an example, let's say a building, every building is for 100 million. Then along the way, you say, this thing has changed to 150 million. Yeah, a joker, no, but they will take you to court. You cannot be changing. So you need to be very strategic as an investor. So these are some of the checklists. And then you need to, number one, you need to carry out a due diligence. I might have to repeat myself because I've said some of this, but I'm just giving you the checklist now. You need to carry out a due diligence as a developer. You have to evaluate whether you have enough money to do the work, or if you are giving the work to someone, you need to evaluate if the person has enough money. And how do you know if the person has enough money? You have to ask for their management audit report. You have to check their credits. You need to carry out the credits. If they are the type that are owing or they give checks that bounces, they are not a good developer. You have to check their financial status. Are they financially stable? Are they stable? Not that you give them work, maybe you give them an advance payment, then they use the advance payment to pay their debts instead of using it on the project. So you need to be very, very careful with that. But thankfully, GTEx is doing it directly, and that won't be a problem. It's for the management to carefully know where the money is coming to do the project. It's very important that for like Jasper Gardenian, there's a timeline to complete the job, and the management and stakeholders internally, they already know where the fund is coming from. So it won't be stories or economy as inflation has eaten the money. So it's very important for you to do that. It's under due diligence. You need to check the legal disputes and history of the property, which I think has been done. You need to do a lot of background checks on all of that. Whoever you are going to be working with as subcontractors, and they are a company that you are not just giving them work, maybe you are going to advance them. You need to do key check. You need to do a check, you know, you need to do a check on the board of directors if there are people with the right character to manage your investment. That is one. Under due diligence is under due diligence, legal and regulatory. I guess you guys have done that, where you'll be looking at the land title verification and ownership. Is it, now that you are paying, you've paid for it, is it truly yours? Is it going to stand the test of time? You need to look at that. And if that is done successfully, before you now invite the guys you've invited, because I know there'll be more of these projects. So these are things that you need to perfect on. And we need to look at the planning permission, what you want to do is in that area. Is it permitted for you to do it? The setback, the setback, is it, are you building, are you not building under an illegal situation? All that, you look under legal and regulatory. You look at the building permit, you must get an approval for it before you start looking at all of that. Then you look at the environmental and zoning compliance. Is the environment an issue that you have to consider? Ibejuleki is an environment you have to consider. You need to consider the challenges caused by flooding. You need to challenge that. For the Jasper Gardenia, I think that has been done. Is now to get a proper design to discharge into the next river, the closest river to the facility. You need to look at the zoning compliance, especially uh, is it near to power? If it's near to power, then it saves you the money of running your own power line, running your, if the proximity to power is like 5 kilometers, it means that you are going to run that. It doesn't make sense to do that. Like what I noticed at the Jasper Gardenian is not near to power at all. But from the feedback I got, is a green estate. It's a green estate that will not be depending on generators. And while the PHN has not gotten there, it's going to be solar driven. There's going to be an alternate power generation in form of a grid deployment. In form of a grid deployment that I had a discussion with the CEO, but I didn't get the whole details. So you need to look at the zoning compliance. You need to look at water. The water, can you readily reach the water, or you have to treat the water? All these things you have to look at. So it makes things very convenient for the off-takers that they won't buy a house or build a land and they don't have access to water. What is the provision for it? How is it being mitigated? All this you have to look at. Then under that same legal and regulatory, you look at the pre-sales legal framework review. This is supposed to be under the marketing guys, who will now be looking at the pre-sales legal framework, how you are going to dimension the payment structure, or you're going to get your subscribers, and some of them might not have cash. Are you going to provide a mortgage arrangement with them or introduce them to a mortgage facilitator? You look at all that and see during the cool-off period, that is when you have started meeting your requirements. Then before the exit period, there are some people that will buy in before the end of the project. They are not able to pay off, or they say they are no longer interested. You need to look at all of that legally, how you secure your position. If someone started and is not going to continue, he wants a refund. Is he going to get the whole money back, or is he going to get part of the money? These are legal things that must be captured. If you exceed the time of deployment, it's supposed to be 2 years, and you are already 2 years, 3 months, you are going to pay. You need to put all this into perspective. It helps in your planning. Then you look at under that, you look at contract review under legal and regulation. You look at the contract review, the sales purchase agreement. I won't want to go into that details. That's not engineering, but it's a requirement for you. under engineering trust because the full package. You need to look at the design, detailed design for the deliverables for finishing. How do you plan to finish the house? Or if you are building a house for them, do you agree that you are just going to do the carcass and they come and do the balance, or you are going to do everything? What kind of tiling are you putting in place? What kind of M&E are you deploying? Is it going to be a centralized sewage system, or everybody is going to have soak away? All this you are going to put in you are going to capture it. I believe GTEx has this already. And if they don't have, especially for the buildings that are going to come up, it's something they should start looking at. Then for payment schedule linking the construction milestone, I've mentioned this. If people can't pay everything, is there provision to pay milestone? Maybe after they pay the initial money to lock themselves in, then they pay when the place is cleared, they pay when foundation has been achieved, they pay when decking has been achieved, they pay balance when roof has been achieved. You need to factor out all of that. If there's going to be an extension period, you need to capture this in the contract review. And if there are going to be people that will abuse some of these things, what are the penalty clauses that you are going to put in place? Very, very vital. So another thing under the engineering trust for a developer is the construction phase. You have to look at the construction phase in the Gardenia, in the Jasper Gardenia project. We're in the construction phase now. GTEx has all the required uh, personnel to do the work in terms of the quantities of fuel, in terms of the site engineers, in terms of, uh, I believe they have a structural engineer, an M&E engineer. You need to look at the teams that will monitor this project, the site supervisors, these people that will ensure that milestone verification and sign-offs is, hope I'm not too fast. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. I said, hope I'm not too fast.
No, you're not too fast. Yeah,
Uh,
we are loaded. We are
Let me
loaded
continue.
actually.
Let me continue to save time. So you need to look
Yes.
at all these milestone verification and sign off because milestones must be noted. For the the Jasper Gardenia project, there was a period when clearing was taking place. It's a milestone, leveling and clearing, taking all the spot levels to know the levels, taking the levels to the nearest road to ensure that there is no flooding of the site, which I noticed that was very fantastic. Very, very fantastic. That's why you see in Lake area, you see so many houses, when they built them, they didn't put into consideration these checks. Now that they started building roads 10 years after, when it rains, all the water on the street is in their compound. It devalues the house, it makes it unbearable, it makes it very unhealthy. So all these things should be checked. Then under the project monitoring, you need to do a project tracking against forecast. This is very important. This is supposed to be done by the GM, but the person that will be running it is the project manager. The project manager is supposed to be tracking what is done against what is allocated for the work under the P&L, that the profit and loss management of your finances. Your budget tracking against your forecast is very, very important. So to make sure you can put a mitigation to this, you can front load, buy things that you know that inflation can eat into. We know that steel sometimes the cost of steel can just skyrocket. If you have that challenge and you have the right fund, why not buy it now? Let's say, for example, why 12 is 10,000. Why not buy it when it's 10,000? When it is 10,000? I'm giving you an arbitrary value now. Why not buy it when it is 10,000? Then wait for 6 months when it is 15,000. Why not buy it even if you are going to use it in 8 months' time? But that is subject to your cash flow too. So these are all the things you have to continue to brood over, you have to continue to think about. Then you look at under the project monitoring, which architect Benjamin spoke about, quality inspection. You have to do your quality inspection every milestone. Whatever they are doing, are they doing the right excavation? And when they are pouring concrete, you have a poker vibrator on site to ensure that you don't have any cones. Are the reinforcement properly aligned? Is the formwork properly placed to avoid failure of formwork? Are you checking that there are no wastages? The mixing of concrete, are you mixing the required concrete that you need? Not that you mix more, then you throw the other ones away. People on site are very mischievous. If you don't monitor them, they will be wasting your stuff. They'll be wasting your stuff. And that will make you overrun your forecast in terms of your budget. So you need to continue to do that. Then you should even get a third party or a consultant that comes in at milestone, especially when you want to do foundation, when you want to do decking. It's very important you come at the decking. Is it properly braced? Do you have enough support in terms of scaffoldings? Is there safety consciousness? Is the quality assurance top notch? You are supposed to continue to look at this because you cannot afford to have someone die on site. Because if you work in a strategic environment like in Dangote and someone dies there, you might end up, they might close the job for like 6 months. There'll be a lot of consequence. There will be a lot of consequence. I know I did a project somewhere some years back. The contractor went to site on Sunday, and in the process, someone got injured. Nobody told him to go. He went. No, why you are not supposed to. The project was delayed for 1 month. They were investigating what happened. Why did it happen? Is it avoidable? Who was responsible? You know, it was so bad. You can imagine if the person has died. You have to start compensating the family. A lot of stuff will come up. Then you have a bad record. So under the construction way, you must closely monitor. You must control your finances. Project monitoring, you have to control your financial control, fund held in escrow or trust account. The money you have set apart for the project must be left there. Not that you are taking money, then you are using money to do other things. You are just playing around. You are just playing around proper, uh, without being disciplined. You must have an escrow account or a trust account, which you will as you are using it, you are checking it. You must have stage payments. You must have stage payments which you release at milestones. Maybe if you have contractors on site, you can tell them, let's say a contractor that is going to do, let's say the drainages. You say, okay, for every 1 kilometer you do, this is what I'll give. For every 1 kilometer, this is what I'll pay. And as you are doing it, that helps you to manage your cash flow. It helps you to manage your cash flow. Also, under financial control, you look at, do you have an insurance? I know GTEX has an insurance. And if this insurance is not very secure, you need to do the one that is secure. You need to do builders insurance. You need to do liabilities. Should someone get injured on site, if you have an insurance, the insurance will pay for it. But we are not praying anybody should get injured on site. Do you have construction insurance? Or, it's very important because you might be carrying your reinforcement from somewhere to somewhere. Maybe there is a road problem and your driver is stranded because he can't get to site. Where he's stranded because of the way the nature of the country, maybe people come there and steal the reinforcement. That's goods in transit. So you are covered. You are covered. So it's something that you have to look at. You have to look at it. And I think under insurance, you look at regulatory compliance. You look at regulatory compliance under construction phase. Are you meeting the regulatory standards? Are you meeting safety standards? The HSC, Health and Safety Environment, are you meeting it? You must regularly check and comply with the go building codes where you are expected to compact every 200 mm. Don't come and be putting 500 mm and be compacting. If you do that, what will happen is after a while, there will be settlement. There will be settlement. And if there is a settlement and you have put interlocking blocks already as finishing, you have to remove all and start doing all these things. Who is going to pay for that? Who is going to pay for it? So it's something that you have to continuously monitor aggressively. You have to look at, it's engineering. There are some things that are not visible that might just naturally happen. So you need to have consideration for variations. And if there's going to be a variation, you just do it anyhow. You must get approval. So there must be a change order request. So this helps in making sure that processes are not abused. Let's say, for example, you are building, and unfortunately, you get to a place, you see a huge root of a tree, a huge tree
Wow.
of a tree. You cannot do anything. You have to remove it. The moment you remove it, it causes a void, a big void, that maybe you need 4 or 5 strips of material to fill it. Who is going to pay for it? It's a variation. So you need to have that provisions available. And how do you mitigate against risk and abuse? There must be a change order request. There must be a change order request. It must be a change order request. What's a change order request? It's a documentation that will be captured. This is what we have seen. This is what it is. This is what it will require to change it. And this is why we have to do it. If we don't do this, this is the consequence of not doing it. And this is the cost implication. Then you pass it, the project team, they pass it to the construction manager or whoever is your guy. They check with the CFO that is managing cash flow. If it's a decision that requires board decision, like the CEO's instruction, they approve it. They cascade it down back. And when that is done, you know that it's money well spent. It's money well spent. And if a variation comes like that, you can look at it and say, where can we do value engineering? Is this something we can take advantage of? Let's say you are digging the ground and suddenly you hit a rock. You hit a massive rock and you decide to dig below the rock. The rock is going down maybe lower than 800 mm, and you are supposed to dig 600 mm, and you have dug only 300 mm before you hit the rock. It does not make sense for you to now start paying for variation to break the rock to 600 mm. If the rock is extending more than that 600 mm into that 800 mm, it means that the place is solid already. So there must be a value engineering. You get your foundation engineers or your engineers to do a design and make that design point instead of 600 mm to make it to be 300 mm after proper checks, checking all the factor of safeties. Because and when you do that, you save money. So it's not cast in stone that this is the way it is. This is what I've seen on so many sites when you have engineering problems, people just stick to that the process and they don't want to be flexible. Why will you start breaking the rock? When the rock is solid, it's even far deeper than where you are going. It doesn't make sense. So these are all the things you look at under under construction phase. Looking at the pre-completion phase, which is what the Joshua Gardenia is going. There are some buildings that are almost completed. There are some things that have not started. But looking at the completion phase, the things that you are supposed to look out for, you have to look at documentation and handover. You need to start preparing all that. You need to start preparing. You don't wait until the time. You don't wait on the time.
Yes.
It might not be someone wants to speak.
Yes,
Hello?
thank you. We are so loaded right now. So much information. We appreciate, so
You
much
stop
that you
go.
shared. But we're out of time. We're trying to conserve time. We,
Okay,
we understand that you have so much you're willing to share with us, and we appreciate that. But we're out of time, engineer.
okay.
I think all of our audience are itching for phase two of this, this webinar. It's so much impactful, but we're out of time. So maybe you might just round up with key insights
Okay,
you want
let
to
me
share.
let me just round up. Let me
Yes,
round up. In my summary, I said that we need to look at as a developer for your engineering trust. You need to look at due diligence phase, which is the first one I mentioned. You need to look at the construction phase. Then the next one is to look at the pre-completion phase. And that pre-completion phase, it is getting ready for completing documentations, the things you are supposed to do. Then you need to look at the post-completion phase, where you'll be checking whether there are snacks, whether there are defect liability periods. You need to look at that. If there are snacks that are not, they are not He knows that snacks are very minor snacks. You quickly fix them. Maybe the paint, the skating is not done well here, or maybe there is settlement there. You look at that. Then you look at the documents that you are going to attach and ensure that that's the final checks and ensure that the customer is happy, your own clients, your own bosses are happy, your banks are happy, all the stakeholders are happy. So my intention before was to speak about how the engineering trust affects the subscriber. That will be for another day. How it affect the subscriber and the engineers. But that will be for another day. So I would just want to thank you for this opportunity to express myself. God bless you all.
Wow, that was quite an experience. I'm so excited with so much information that Engineer Sonny shared. All our audience, we just it was like a walk behind the scene of what has been happening. Somebody might just be saying, is all this required? Is all this? But I must tell you, all these are some of the processes we put in place at GTEx Homes to make sure that your investment stands the test of time. And I just want to, out of so much that engineers shared, I just want to point out some key things that stood out with me. You know, stood out with me. He explained, that quality control for him isn't just a stage in the process. It is something that begins right from the foundation and continues until the final stage. And he was so much elaborate, detailing the essence of soil test, the essence of choosing the right type of foundation for the right type of soil. And then he also shared how every phase of construction is handled step by step, and before moving to the next stage, that stage must pass a strict checklist for strength, stability, and compliance. It was quite an experience. An engineer also stressed that nothing is left to chance, from soil tests, like I rightly said, before the foundation, to checking the steel reinforcement that gives the building its backbone. And every critical element, he said, is verified by certified professionals. And in his words, there is no guesswork, only expertise, precision, and a commitment to doing it right, the first time. And it was quite a powerful session, but because we're out of time, would love engineer to continue. Even, I know that if we put on 24 hours, he would love to continue, because it's part of, as an expert in the industry, you're always excited to share, because it's out of your passion, right? But because we're out of time, we'll just have to pause him now. We appreciate you so much, engineer, for such a powerful insight. I would love to have you back to join us, to continue to share, to guide us and to mentor us through all the construction process. I'll just take out a few 2 minutes to just, we have some questions in our chat section. I don't know whether you would have the opportunity,
No
within
problem.
a minute or two, just share key insights, just answer some of the questions. So first of all, we want to know, what would you say to clients who are skeptical? I know you've already dived deep in some of these aspects, but we want to know, what would you like to say to clients who are skeptical about buying off plan, especially regarding the strength and safety of the structure?
For me, what I will tell them is you can't succeed if you don't venture. You can't succeed if you don't venture. And I want to encourage them that when you have an off plan as as an offer on your table, you have to take the chance because the value when you are ready, you pay double for it. Sometimes you might even pay triple for it. So, especially if you have funds, if you have funds, I want you and you need it, I will advise you to key into it. But what you need to do is to do your due diligence on the developer. You don't leave it to chance. You don't just listen to the gimmicks in terms of the advertisement and all of that, the billboard advertisement and all of that. You need to find out who are the people behind this. What is their pedigree? Have they done it before? if they've done it before, was it successful? You need to find out who are the owners. Do they have the right character to be for you to invest into them? Are they going to run away? Are they going to japa? I get me. So all of that, you need to do that. You just don't say you are not interested. Because the first house I bought, I did it as off plan. And at the time I bought it 12 million. That was so many years ago. When they completed that building, or the buildings, and I was given my key, it was like 28 million. And this was not like forever. It was like under 18 months when they completed it. It was 28 million. It was over 100%. It was over 100%. The only thing I did was to trust the process, not gullibly, by investigating the people behind it and by following through when they were doing. Are they meeting the time? Are they following? Are they meeting their promises? So I will advise that when you have opportunities, you take it so you don't regret it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, engineer. That was, quite an answer. Because as they say, delay, causes you to lose opportunities. So just key in as an investor on this call, key in, but be detailed in asking the important questions that position you as an advantage. Thank you so much, for joining us on this session, engineer. It was quite an experience. And may God increase your knowledge, your wisdom, and more experience as you grow in this construction industry. Thank you very much, Engineer Sonny, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So it's I'm quite overloaded, right? So if you have any key insights that transform the way you see investment, the way you see keying into off plan, kindly drop in the chat section, and then we'll attend to you quite briefly. So without wasting time, we just want to, because we are far out of time, so we just want to call out our next speaker without wasting time. So our next speaker is Mr. James. Mr. James is a general manager of GtextHomes, a brand renowned for delivering luxury and green smart homes across Nigeria, the US, and beyond. With over 5 years of leadership in real estate and a background in electronics and computer engineering from the University of Calabar, James has also completed international leadership programs in Dubai, Ghana, and Cameroon. He's passionate about helping investors build wealth through strategic off-plan property investments that delivers high returns within 2 to 5 years. And he has guided smart investors towards profitable opportunities across Nigeria, the US, UK, and Dubai. So with a clap, we just want to welcome Mr. James as he takes us through the next segment. Like I said, for those of us that are going to stay through the end, we have interesting offers, interesting things that we'll package for you. Just stay locked in, put on your seatbelts, and let's have this ride together. Mr. James, it's your time. Thank you.
Awesome. Mr. Francis, thank you so much for that loaded profile. At some point, even my colleague in the office, were looking out saying, wow. And I can only but say thank God for the opportunity, for the privilege, to go through that. So thank you so much. You've done a great job so far. I've had to, quietly, observe the background from the
Anna,
beginning of from the first speaker we
so
had was
hold on.
Mr. Benjamin, right, who did so much, who took our time to explain in details about some of the things to look out for in terms of engineering trust. And, also to our very experienced, external senior, engineering consultants who has so much worth of experience. And we can see from the session, we had with him that it
Get
was
into it.
I kept down so many things, right? And
You say you want to come and see me. You'll not see
Engineer,
me.
can you
can
just
only
help
but
us?
say,
Kindly mute yourself,
You
engineer,
have not
please.
watched your this, you know. You two, you have not watched your this.
yes, admin, you
You cannot
can
escape it.
do that from your
Yes,
end.
admin.
Very soon. Very soon. You carry us to both of you carry us to Federal Palace. So it could be
Admin, if you're here,
okay.
you can mute.
What's that? Tell me no day. Larry.
Okay, that has been done. That's great. So, I mean, so much have been said so far. We've had a lengthy time. We've been here since 12. So I'll try as much as possible to, to summarize and to also inform us that we're not just here as a company. We pay so much time. We are very, very particular about educating our clients, right? And informing them the right things, right? The right information, to guide your decision. And if there's any other thing we've done here is to practicalize that, by bringing industry experts. By the way, Engineer Sonny is an external, like he said, it's an external person. We have to, take out that time to ensure that we had, an external person who has a wealth of experience to make sure that the job or the project we are delivering to you is top notch. Okay, so we have that external supervisory role. I mean, we just last week we had him, come to site and have that spend time with us to see the project, what we are currently working on, and the projects we've had completed so far, and to have his also to have his stake and also to have his professional feedback and to cap it, it was an amazing session. So we had to take out that time also to have him on this session, and you can see that it was an explosive session. Now, back to our core values at GTEx. We are so much customer centric, and we always at the forefront in terms of giving adequate information to you, our listeners, our clients, our prospects, to help you in terms of decision making. Because you can't tell me that you listen to this wealth of experience and something will tell you that, we are very particular in terms of, we are very intentional in terms of our project on site and every nitty-gritty that has to do with engineering, the processes, and project delivery, basically. So without further ado, I like to emphasize that at Jasper Gardenia, we understand that we understand that buying our housing, buying a home, okay, is more than just transaction. And it's more of a life-changing investment opportunity. That's why we've built our off-plan offers, around three powerful pillars. Okay. Number one is the fact that we are very conscious of building to last. Okay. We're very conscious of building to last. I mean, without further ado, I mean, our project, our vision at GtextHomes is to build 25,000 green and smart homes by the year 2035. And in order to achieve that, as much as we want to achieve that, we also are very big in terms of quality deliverance. And I mean, in terms of exposure, you see GtextHomes in the US market. We also have our extension to the Dubai market. All of these are measures to ensure that we have those external exposures in order to bring back those exposures to our project in Nigeria, and to ensure that we are giving we are giving the best delivery. That's why you see we are proud to associate with the fact that we are the first, or we are the pioneers of the green and smart project here in Nigeria and beyond. And we are very particular that in terms of building to last. So we are very conscious of our quality control, even from foundation. Now, every stage of your home, okay, of your own construction is carefully monitored using only premium approved materials. Okay, this ensures that your property not only looks beautiful on the day one on day one, but also retains the value and the strength for decades to come. Now, the benefits this has to you as a client or as a prospect listening to us now is that you have fewer maintenance costs because of the build to last and the quality control. You have fewer maintenance costs, higher resale value, and a home that truly stands the test of time. And in terms of value, I can make boast to say that when we started this project as at 2019 and into 2020, we still had into 2022. Still had some of these projects that was selling for as low as 60 million. We still had a client who bought in 2022 at 60 million naira. As I can both as I'm speaking to you, that same a four-bedroom adjustable Gardena is currently going for 170 million, while a five-bedroom is going for 185 million. Now imagine the value that has been brought into this project even before completion. So we are very much particular. Now imagine you investing now, right? And then in the near future, and then imagine the value in 2035, in 2027, right? Just two years from now. So we're very particular about, having higher resale value based on the quality, quality assurance and the quality control, even from foundation. Second, we also are very particular about safety and value guaranteed. In that regards, we employ certified professionals for full compliance. It's no news that part of this effort is when we've had to incorporate the likes of engineer Sonny Usuke, which we had which we've had this session, and you can tell from that he has wealth of experience, to help us in terms of external supervision and also a guide, in terms of engineering. So your project is in the hands of seasoned licensed engineer and architects who strictly follow industry and government building codes. Now, your benefits basically is that the benefits of this is that there's confidence that your home has legal compliance, expertise, design, and market-ready long-term appreciation. We're also looking at complete transparency. Okay, and in terms of transparency, I don't know how many of us have observed the market. Recently, Lagos State government had to put out, estates with illegal settlement, and it will interest you to know that GTEX is not one of those, right? Because we are very particular in terms of complying with, the Lagos State government processes and all of that, to ensure that we give our client, our prospect, the right project that has followed due process and have followed, basic local compliance process, both local and global compliance. So we're very transparent in terms of our process. That's why you see us, if you check our social media platforms, by the way, if you need to follow us. Okay, if you're watching this, you can go on Instagram, you can follow us at GtextHomes, GtextHomes NG. That's our Instagram account. And on Facebook, you can see us at GtextHomes. We also have a website, which is www.gtexthomes.com. And if you have any inquiry at all, you can always send an email to info@gtexthomes.com. I repeat that, info@gtexthomes.com. We also, in terms of, having a better way to attend to you and address it, we're introducing AI platforms where, even if it's as late as, late in the night, there is someone. There's there's an AI version of myself to attend to you. So we are, in terms of customer-centric, processes, we are in line to ensure that we put all of these measures in place to ensure that we give you the best form of service and we're always there to attend to you. So we keep you in the loop, in terms of all of the updates and progress report on site. If you check our social media platform that I explained earlier or advised earlier, you see all of our up-to-date, project on, all of the processes we take basically to ensure that we give you the best service. We give you up to date in terms of all the progress reports on site. And we're very particular about that. I mean, we are one of the very first, real estate company that started this virtual inspections in as much as, to the point where wherever you are in the world, basically, you can inspect any of our projects and you can have up-to-date information as regards either a 4-bedroom or a 5-bedroom that you're interested in. So the benefit of this is the fact that you remain in control of your investment. Wherever you are in the world, you can check, you can monitor, the progress of your investment. And interest you to know that any of our projects that you're interested in, you can buy for basically 3 reasons. You can buy for residential reasons. Our project in Lagos, Ibejileki, is in a very perfect location, greeneries everywhere, and perfectly positioned for 3 basic reasons. That includes residential purpose. You can buy to live in, all right? You can buy any of our housing units to live in. You can buy for, maybe for some persons, it might be a distance issue. You might want to say, well, I'm not ready to live in Ibejileki at the moment. But guess what? We have lots of, expatriate coming into this part of Lagos. That's in Ibejileki, because of the massive industrial revolution coming in or already existing in Ibejileki. The likes of Dangote Refinery, the likes of the Lekki Deep Sea Port, the likes of, La Campagne Tropicana, the likes of, so many industries that are already in this axis. Already the federal government is working on the Lagos, Calabar Coastal Road. So there's so much in terms of development and industrial activity coming up in this axis. It's no news that, the new airport, is also located in the heart of Ibejileki. So there's a lot going on, and that has attracted high net worth, working class persons, that are currently in need of housing deficit. So your project, your investment in this axis is to your advantage because you have the market, and it will interest you to know, right, at this point, that we also are committed to ensure that we get clients that are ready to rent your property. So you can begin to earn what they call passive rental income on a basis. We also are partnering with, this industry, such as in the Dangote Refinery and the rest. I mean, just last week or 2 weeks ago, we had expatriates or representatives from the Dangote Refinery come to see our project, and all the feedback we're just having was, when are these projects going to be completed, or how is the process, how's the sales process coming up. So there's a lot of interest in this axis. I mean, we've heard of project worth $3 billion, already as Dangote Refinery. We heard of over 1.5 billion worth of, resort center in terms of, that's the La Campagne Tropicana. So there are a lot of money, a lot of, financial resources have been sunk into this axis that can definitely, influence the value of your property. All right. A perfect example is that of a client whom I told you bought as at 2022, who bought into a 4-bedroom project as at then was going for 16 million. Today, the value is times 3 of that value, because that same 4-bedroom is currently going for 175 million as we speak in the market. A green and smart, fully serviced property. And it will also interest you to know that we're beginning to have, clients and more tenants who are coming into to rent the ready-to-move-in property or the ready property. So it's an opportunity for you to, take advantage of these amazing offers in Ebejileki. We also have an extension of this, or we have, amazing offers as well in Abuja. This time it's close to the airport. And statistics have actually shown that a lot of, expatriates who come into the city of Abuja most likely want to live close to the airport so that they can have easy access, to navigate in and out of Abuja. And where we have Jasper Hill is strategically located, to meet those needs. So imagine a place where you can buy and put out for rental income, and you have lots of these people, expatriates who are coming into the country either for political reasons or for business related reasons. They can own your property, right? They can either rent it from you, or you can put this offer at service apartments. These are locations that are in high demand, when it comes to rental income and also service apartment. So it's properly. So this project is properly located in a location where there's high demand for this set of offers. That's the rental income and the service apartment. So it's just wisdom, to take advantage of the offers we have. Now, you might be wondering, what are the offers that we have for you? It will interest you to know that, based on management benevolence, we have extended a discount offer to you. So at this point, you can take advantage of a 4-bedroom, a 5-bedroom with as low as 20 million naira. Okay, if you want to clap for GTEx, you can clap for GTEx. All right. I think we have made owning a home, a green and smart home in Abuja and Lagos, very seamless for you. So you can take advantage of it with as low as a 20 million naira. You can key into any of this project, both the 4-bedroom or the 5-bedroom in Lagos and Abuja. And with a very flexible payment plan, we can help you, space those projects, space the payment plan with that matches your income, or your income as the days goes by. So it's very important that you take advantage of this, of this payment, instrumental payment. And you might be asking, are there mortgage offers? Are there mortgage opportunities? I can tell you for free now. I mean, we recently just had a partnership with Providence Bank, and we are ready to, they're ready to partner with our clients, our prospects. I mean, if you're excited about that, you can express that. They are ready to partner with our prospects and our clients, to offer mortgage facilities, where you can, by mortgage, it means you have 30 million or you have 40 million, and you need to own this project. Yes, that's all basically you need to pay. And the balance, the mortgage company, Providence Bank just makes the balance available, and we help you complete your project in the space of time. Then you move in, and then you have a very mutual and a very flexible mortgage plan with Providence. So there's a lot of modalities, easy safety nets that we're putting in place to ensure that you own your dream. You own your dream home, called GtextHomes. And we are working tirelessly to ensure that we deliver your project as planned, and we are committed to all of this process. I know at this point you definitely want to reach out. So you can reach out to us via our email. You can reach out to info@gtexthomes.com. You can send us a mail, at our customer service team, are there, and even our AI assistants are also there to ensure that we give you response in due time. We also have, you can also reach out to me directly on WhatsApp on +234 814 387 6711. Mr. Francis, you want to pen that down, in the chat box where they can easily have access to that as well. So you can reach out to us on WhatsApp, and we are ready, more than ready, to guide you through this journey of owning a green and smart homes in the city of Lagos and Abuja. Once again, the offers available are 5 bedroom, fully, fully serviced as, fully smart, green and smart properties. We have 4 bedroom, we have 5 bedroom, terrace duplexes in Abuja, in Lagos, right? We have that available for you at 185 million, right? With an initial deposit of 20 million naira. We also have a 4 bedroom for that at 170 million naira. So those are the offers in Lagos. And for the offers in Abuja, we also have the difference here is that, for Abuja, we have it's also a it's also a fully serviced smart home, luxury premium service, smart home, with all the great facilities and all of the AI, Alexa, attending to your curtains and helping you clean your homes and all of that. So those measures are there. But this time is is a full duplex, fully detached duplex with a BQ, okay, for 4 bedroom, and also a fully detached duplex with a BQ for 5 bedroom. So you can take advantage of these amazing offers. Call in and let's help you secure this. Remember, there's the mortgage plan. There's also an insurance process, the insurance, aspect of this as well. So all of the measures are basically there to help you own, this green and smart home within this axis. It will interest you to know that the rental value in the Bechileki as I speak at the moment, for a green and smart home, a 4 bedroom rental income on a yearly basis is going for 12 million naira, while for the 5 bedroom is going for 12 million, while for the 4 bedroom is going for 10 million naira. And by statistics that show that, there will be price review increase because of the large influx of industries and economic activities happening in this axis. So the best time to own this is now. Okay, so call the numbers and let's help you own this piece in Lagos and also Abuja. All right, thank you so much for sticking to the end of it. Mr. Francis, you can take it up from here.
Yes. So those are the offers we have on ground, like you rightly said. We appreciate you went in depth to just share with our audience the essence of key into some of these investments. And some of our audience might be wondering, why am I, why is it important to key in and why is it important to even invest in the first place? So you would understand that investment is very, very important. That's how you build wealth, that's how you build wealth. So here at GTEX Homes, we're intentional not just to sell investment packages to you, but we're intentional in taking you behind the scenes, making sure that you're not just investing for the next 1 year, 2 years, you're investing long term, right? Your wealth is sustainable. That's why we brought in some of the offers. And we appreciate, James, for that powerful, in-depth, strategies. So if you want to key into some of our offers, you can indicate. We shared them here with you. We have offers in Abuja, we have offers in Lagos. In Abuja, we have offers at Airport Road. We have the 5 bedroom in Lagos. We have offers at Ibejuleki, and then Ibejuleki is a new gold mine right now. If you agree with me, because of the Dangote, so many commercial activities are happening. For those investors that are intentional about return on investment, that are intentional about not just building for long term, but residual income for rental incomes. You start enjoying in short term while it's accumulating, while it's compounding in long term. So yes, those are some of the offers we have. So thank you very much for joining this powerful session. And then I just want to appreciate our speakers that took out time from their busy schedule to join us to impact, so much information to us. It was quite an experience. I know for some of us it will take us, multiple months for us to regain from this mindset shift, right? And that's the essence. That is why it's very important to key into, with a developer like GTEX Homes are intentional about not just, giving you packages, but intentional about helping you build transgenerational wealth. Helping you build transgenerational wealth. So if you want to key into any of our offers, just reach out to us. I'm going to quickly drop the number in the chat section. I'm going to quickly drop the number in the chat section. And we can take it up from there. So before we call the session a close, is there any question, any confusion so far? Any question you want to ask? Maybe if there's any policy or any insights during the session that you didn't understand, just kindly drop in the chat section, and then we can attend to it briefly before we call the meeting to a close. IT, please just kindly play some, videos for us, maybe in the next 2 minutes before we call the meeting to a close. While I just quickly drop the numbers for you to contact in the chat section. IT, please, over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live at Jasper Estate in Bejuleki, and we're not just here, we're with our very beautiful Mrs. Adike. She had to come all the way down to see what we are working on live on site. So Mrs. Adike, thank you for visiting site. What's your take about what you've seen so far?
Thank you very much. Lovely place, lovely work, good quality. I'm very particular about finishing. I'm very particular about, so really impressive, really nice. Love the quality of tiles particularly that were used. They're different from the usual that you see in most houses, to be honest. And each bathroom, each room has its own different tile. Really lovely. Kitchen, beautiful, lovely. Everything here was done nicely with quality, emphasis on quality, and so you know what you're paying for. It is a lovely place. I would encourage as many people as are interested to come in, to have a look and to be part of this. This is a real value added project, or whatever it's all for wealth and for the future and for your family and all of that. But I would advise anybody to take the opportunity to own one.
Ms. Adeke is trying to be, the boss. She's taking hers, and she's waiting for you, all right, to come and have yours, as well. So currently we have 2 units of 4-bedroom and 3 units of 5-bedroom currently available at an amazing price with an initial deposit of 20 million for the 4-bedroom and 30 million for the 5-bedroom. You can also have a piece of this quality like Ms.
All right, thank you very much. It was quite a powerful session. So if you want to contact us, you might want to visit our office if you are currently in Lagos at Ibejuleki. You can even give us a call if you're ready for any site visitation. Or you can just easily visit our social media platforms at GTEX Homes, or visit our website at www.gtexhomes.com, and just keep informed, get informed, of the possible investment opportunities. We tend to update our social media platforms, constantly every day, just putting you at the edge, at the advantage of what is happening in the real estate sector and in the construction sector. Thank you very much for joining us. Reach into the chat section and get the numbers for you to reach out to us. Thank you very much, our speakers, Mr. James, Engineer Sonny, Mr. Benjamin. We appreciate so much that you've shared, so much the information you shared with us today. And may God reward you, give you more insights, give you more opportunities, more open doors as you continue to progress in the construction and real estate industry. Thank you very much, our great audience, for joining, and do have a wonderful day ahead. Cheers. Phone number. So IT, you can continue with the video before you end the meeting.